welcome to Downtown. I'm your host, Robbie Haig. Thank you for being with us once again. Today I am speaking with two members of Heidrea for Heroes. And Jesse Brown is the co-founder, and Amy Belmore is marketing director.
Managing director, actually.
Managing director. I stand corrected.
No problem.
It's wonderful to have you both here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So tell us the background of Heidrea for Heroes.
Well, Heidrea for Heroes was started in 2013. It was under the premise of helping veterans. Being a veteran myself, a Marine Corps veteran, I seen the need firsthand of veterans, how they needed help in all different aspects of life. And as I got out, most veterans, as they get out, they're at a younger age. And that's where, at first, that's kind of what I thought until I got involved with the Heidrea for Heroes and, seeing all the veterans that are out there, all the way from World War II veterans right down to Afghanistan. And not even just the veterans themselves, but then we also started seeing the need to help. It was the spouses of the veterans. As being in the service, people are married, people have kids, and there's a close-knit community inside when you're on bases, when you're in the military. But as you get out, you kind of lose all that. And having kids, a lot of people in the service, if they have children, when they have the children, it's normal inside the base that you have 2 or 3 kids and you're 23, 24 years old. You get out of the service, it's a little bit more difficult outside of that. So, coming from the beginning of Heidrea for Heroes, where we started doing construction aspect of it, Heidrea for Heroes has evolved into many other programs that we do now, just from evolving and learning of what veterans need. I've learned a tremendous amount from the beginning of what I wanted to do to what we are actually doing now as an organization. And I'm proud of everything that we do, from wheelchair ramps, which we started, to now doing child care relief services. So, it's definitely been evolving over the time frame of the last 3 years. We started in 2013, we got our 501c3 rating, but we've evolved so much since then from the beginning stages. And me personally, our whole team has done that, and I can't thank them enough, because I maybe would have done all these other things, but the team is always out there getting information from all these other veterans also, and seeing what we need to do so we can evolve our organization into something better to help the mass amount of people that we can at all times.
So this started in 2013 with you and?
The other co-founder, who is also my business partner, Matt Mastriani, and he's also a United States Marine Corps veteran also.
Oh, very good.
And we've known each other now we met when we got out of the service, both of us. We met in, I think it was 2005, 2006, right in that time frame that we met. And we've been together ever since. So as we were doing our for-profit business, we were always donating and helping out other veteran organizations. During that time frame, we said, why don't we just do our own? We focus in construction. We can do bathroom remodels. We can help out anything to do with construction-based projects. We felt we did well, so we wanted to do it ourselves and kind of be in control with it at that time frame. So we ended up, when we started it, that's what we focused on.
Very good.
And like I said, we just constantly evolved from that to a multitude of other things. I mean, there's just, some things work, some things don't, and whatever works, we stick with it. We try to scale it up.
Very good.
And what doesn't work.
So you mentioned doing the ramps.
Yes.
I'm sure that's
we still do those.
One of the greatest needs for.
It's definitely a big need, and it's not just actually the ramps, but it's also like the electric chairs inside the homes, because of those for the older veterans, not just for people necessarily in the wheelchairs, but people that have difficulty getting upstairs and they don't live on single-story homes, and they have to get upstairs to utilize their home. So we put in the exact number, I don't know, but we put in a few of those, the electric chairs to go up. We've done multitude of ramps, all different sizes, from wooden ramps to metal ramps to small ones to big ones. We've worked with the American Legion, putting in a ramp for them. We've done it
right here in Sandwich.
Very
so
good.
we've done that ramp at the American Legion in Sandwich, and a lot of private ones also. So that definitely, I mean, I can give a story of one that we did was one of our first ones. We put a wooden ramp in, and this is, I just kind of love this story, but Leo was his name, and he was up at the Bedford VA, and at that time, he wanted to get home obviously for Christmas at that, but he couldn't get home. He got his leg amputated, just from things from the service and health reasons. He ended up getting his leg amputated, so he's in a wheelchair, but his house had no wheelchair ramp. So they contacted us, and you know, we try to bridge a gap between the VA and anything. We're a service that bridges the gap, but we try to move very quickly. Yeah. And during this time frame, I would say it was about a month and a half from getting the permits to getting everything done. We got it in about October, was it, Amy? Right around we got the call?
Right around when we got the call, there was, I'm sure you're going to continue, but additional work that we needed to do in the house.
Oh yeah, there was additional. So, but we got the call in October. So when we went and looked at it, the thing is like, we just need a wheelchair ramp.
That's what they thought their need was.
That's what we thought their need was. So we get there.
Nothing is as simple as it
No.
first seems.
Exactly.
Well, then when you get up to the, if you notice and you get up to the wheelchair, well, you can't get through the door when it's a regular sized door.
Right.
So we have to widen the door. Then we get into the house, and I'm looking around, and I go, well, how's he going to get into the bathroom? He can't get in the bathroom because of the walls. He can't get into his bedroom. So he would have been confined to one single room, his living room, for sleeping and everything, and wouldn't have been able to. So we actually had to take walls down, widen all the doors in the other rooms, so he could get through, you know, very easily through the building. So we got that call in October. By December 23rd, he moved in. That was the ramp, the doors were open, and everything was finished for him to come in. So we try to move with the expedient. We try to be efficient, but expedient at the same time with everything that we do. But we also want to make sure that they have everything that they need to, and we don't want to do sloppy work. We want to make sure everything is done properly.
So where do you fit in this, Amy?
So I oversee the operation in general, both from the project management side. So the story that Jesse just talked about was a great example of how we provide that custom support. So veterans and their family members are able to apply to us for assistance on a broad range of categories. So whether it's accessibility reasons, in the case of that example, home repairs for health and safety, maybe it's a leaking roof or a furnace that no longer works that needs to be replaced, home repairs of that nature.
So does the initial call generally come to you?
No, we do have a team, and we do have a dedicated intake person, and then we have another project assistant who goes out to the homes to make sure that they understand what the needs are. And we do work with local businesses, contractors, plumbers, electricians, who are in the trades and can help us through these projects. And so it's a team effort, and we're all involved with it. And so in addition to some of that home-based support, we also offer immediate relief for maybe someone's lights are going to get shut off because they're behind on their payments, that type of thing.
Car payments.
So car payments, exactly. So we
Things
award
that people don't generally think of.
Right. So it's very much a custom support mission that we have, and that's the reason why we've been able to evolve, as Jesse was saying earlier, evolve our programs and our benefits and what we offer. We don't, there are some things that we don't get involved with, but we do our best to really cover a lot of the bases.
We bridge that gap. So if somebody's in that need, the whole thing is to give that person the opportunity, that veteran the opportunity to succeed. We don't want them to fail. So the reason we would make a car payment for them is everybody has issues, everybody has problems with something, but they still need to get to work. If they're not getting to work, they're not making any money. Now, we don't want to buy a brand new car for somebody, but we want to have the car payment that they're doing so they can continue to get to work. You gotta eat, you have to have your lights on, you gotta have heat in your house, you gotta have the basic necessities of life just to move forward. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep everything status quo so they can continue to move forward and strive to be better. We want them, because once you start getting pulled down, you're just going to go deeper and deeper in the hole. So we don't want them to go deeper. We want to continue. We want to keep them at a straight line, if not give them a little bit more to boost them up, to make them want to succeed. Because they all want to succeed. It's just a matter of, it's difficult too. So everybody needs help, and we're just there. We're there to help. And like Amy was saying, it's custom. So we listen to every veteran, what they say, and we try to also talk to them and see what they need. You know, there's always wants, but we, as a custom thing, we get them what they need, and then later on, they can get what they want.
What
Our
geographical area do you work in?
What was that?
What-
So our geographical area is the 4 counties, so Plymouth County, Barnstable, Norfolk, and Bristol counties. So southeastern Mass is
Okay.
kind of what we simplify that down to. And I would say we serve veterans of all ages, all war conflicts, and one of the larger demographics that we deal with as well are those aging veterans who might be dealing with some sort of medical condition or health-related need or a home repair. But if their medical condition is not service-connected, meaning it's not related to some injury that they incurred while in the service, maybe it's diabetes or Parkinson's or just an aging illness.
Right.
But they have needs related to that, then the VA is not a free resource for them. And if they don't have that resource in their household, we can step in and assist. So that's another way in which we try to bridge the gaps.
So you work with the VA also?
We collaborate. We get referrals from the VA. We get one of our main sources of referrals. Every community, every town and city in the Commonwealth has a Veteran Service Officer, or a VSO. And we receive referrals from many of them now in our service area because they've gotten to know who we are. They understand that we're reliable, that we get our work done, we get it done as fast as we can. And so it's been a really nice growing relationship with this. They're such an important resource for all veterans here in the state and in the service area. So, and then we collaborate with other organizations as well. So for instance, we don't get involved with housing. If someone needs housing, that's not something we can help with, but we refer them to other organizations that can help them.
Sure. Very good.
So
And
it's
I
a
know your
collaboration.
office is in the Plymouth area.
Yes, right in Cordage Park.
Very good. And we can give the information on phone number and...
Please.
Yes.
Please do, yes. We have a lot of information on our website, both about our programs as well as how to apply for assistance. And a family member can initiate an application as well. So ultimately, we always talk with the veteran. We're always interacting with the veteran, but a family member or a spouse can initiate the process with us if that makes it easier to begin it.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you have a website. Would you like to repeat the website?
Sure. It's www, of course, and then Heidrea, which is HEIDREA, and then the number 4, Heroes, HEROES.org.
Excellent.
We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, you can find us there, you can see the examples of our work there. And I know we wanted to also share information about, in addition to the types of projects we've talked about so far, we also offer a number of workforce readiness programs.
Okay.
And Jesse can share information about an event that we have coming up.
Yeah, we had an event a few months back. It's called Vet Work, and we collaborated with the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce on that, which basically it's a networking event, job mixer, we call it. We call it more of a mixer of bringing employers and veterans. So it's a veteran job fair, but not your traditional job fair, how it's set up. So, like I said, as being a veteran, and a lot of veterans, they might suffer also PTSD, or they don't like being in large crowds. There's an uncomfortable factor towards it. So with that being said, we try to create more of a job fair that was comfortable to go to. So how we set it up is we have a host committee, and the employers, they're not standing behind their tables, they're out in front of their tables, and as the veterans come in, the host committee would greet them, and as we would talk with them, and we would introduce them to potential employers. So those employers, then would talk to them. Our first event that we had about 16 employers at that time, and about 25 veterans show up. I think the last time there was a few interviews, and definitely I think one job that came from it.
Yes.
Which that's a success. That's a very much of a success. And as many veterans that did show up to that first event, we have another one coming up now, is November 7th at Memorial Hall in Plymouth. And right now we're looking between 35 to 40 businesses, and hopefully we hope to double the amount of veterans that show up. But that's always our biggest thing to overcome is getting the veterans to come to the event. Because I think a lot of them sometimes don't want to come because they feel overwhelmed. But that's, if we can get that out there, like today and everything that we're doing, is that it's not like that. It's not your traditional job fair. That it's a very relaxed atmosphere. There's no pressure, and you don't have to talk to anybody, but it just happens naturally in there because it's going to happen. So I'm very excited about it. The first one was a success. I know this next one will be a success, and we just hope, like everything that we do, we hope to grow it. We hope to double it every time.
Where do you advertise?
Yeah,
All over.
Everywhere.
All over.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
nothing that we haven't put it out there. I'm sure there's always something, but I know Amy, everybody, they're
Newspaper,
very
radio.
vigilant on getting on every single thing. And we've had the discussion with a lot of things that we do also, is just we put it out so much on everything that if it doesn't work out, we know that we put it out everywhere. There's not many more places that we can put it out there.
Wonderful.
So that's a great example of our workforce readiness programs, and I wanted to share a little bit about a couple of other programs that we have that have been successful, and I actually brought in a little example here that I'll just show your camera. This is called our Success Readiness Series, and this was a series of seminars that we presented over about 18 months' time, and they offer information on life skills and professional skills, things like financial literacy and how to save wisely and how to borrow and identity theft protection and how to buy a home, you know, home loans and things of this nature, and interview tips, resume writing tips, that type of thing. So some of the skills or information that if someone had enlisted straight out of high school, went to the service and came back, maybe they hadn't quite picked up on some of that really important information and how to navigate, you know, towards success both personally and professionally. And so these were seminars that were held over a period of time. We had people who attended them. They were put on by industry experts for the different topics. And they're now available on this DVD. It's a 3-disc DVD set. And any veteran can just call our office, email our office, and say, I'd like to get a copy, and we just ship it out to them completely free. So that's something we wanted to share. And then we also have another program called Suit Up, where we partnered with Men's Warehouse, really nice relationship we have with them, and we offer free suits. So
And
suit, shirt, and tie, as
right
well
now
as
it's about 40 suits.
we're about 40.
How
we
nice
do have
is that?
And
so
that's
this
men
is
and women.
men and women.
Very
Yeah,
good.
so the women, they get their...
It's an equal value
value.
benefit, but just
Very
obviously
good.
to a women's retailer. And so that's for
And
those who are,
everyone wants to help, really.
yeah,
I do believe that. You know, they say when people need to be asked.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
very
true.
good.
that's true. People do need to be asked.
So do you have a lot of volunteers working with you?
You know, it's interesting. We do have volunteers who will help out when we need them to. For instance, we have a program coming up we've been doing each year. This is our 3rd year now, where we send veterans into kindergarten classrooms and read books about who veterans are and the fact that they're in your neighborhood, they're all around you. You should know about them and what they've given for your country. And that happens right before the 2 weeks leading up to Veterans Day. So we have volunteers associated with that. In terms of the home projects that we do, many of them are skilled labor required. You know, you need that plumber, the electrician, the licensed contractor to get that work done and done safely and in a qualified way. And so in those cases, businesses, you know, will engage with us, or contractors will engage with us, and we work with them. But there have been we've done yard cleanups with volunteers, and we've done some other programs too. So there are opportunities, but it's not an everyday. We don't have it's not like a food pantry where every day there's something that's,
Very good.
And we're always, but we are looking, you know, to have it in a database. Just when we do events, if people are looking to volunteer their time, we do have opportunities for people to volunteer if they want to. So that's there's a lot of events we go to, different types of events that we could utilize volunteers at, and we can hit more areas. So yes, to answer your question, we would like more volunteers to come out also.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
But to elaborate on this though, also, you know, with the Suit Up and the Readiness Series, you know, with the vet work, we've really picked up in that, because I do feel deeply about that, because as Amy was saying, I got out of the service, I was 21, I enlisted when I was 17, and I got out when I was 21. I didn't know how to get really the proper channels to really get a job. So my first thing was go to at that time they were called the unemployment offices, now it's a career center. And for kind of the first question I was asked was, you have a resume? No, I don't. I thought it was just, you just go in there and you ask for a job and you get it. And I mean, I didn't think it was that simple, but somewhat to that degree. So I had to go make myself up a resume. I went to the library, figured out how to do it. That was still in 1999, so the computers were there, but I still went to the library, figured out how to write a resume, wrote a resume, and started putting it out there. Now maybe some people will do that, some people won't, but to try to have somebody as you go in that you don't want them to feel discouraged when they leave somewhere.
Sure.
And once they feel like, as we were talking about earlier, once they're discouraged, then you continuously just go down and down
slippery
and down.
slope, yeah.
So that whole thing, we're just trying to stop that right when they get out. So when I first got out, that's where I was kind of focused on. I was like, hey, everybody's getting out. I want them to be able to go get jobs. And like I said, as it evolved, it wasn't just people getting out. It could have been somebody else. A big thing with this readiness series, and especially with the Suit Up program, it's the veterans now that are my age. They're in their 40s and they're doing like a career change. So even though they've been in construction, let's say they've been doing construction, you start getting older, you might have to go into a different line of work because your body's just not able to do that anymore, or you get injured or something like that. And maybe they never wore a suit in their life. They were always in boots or construction wear, and now they're trying to get another job more in the white collar sector, because more that they have to, not that they need to, they have a job, but they have to evolve from that job. So this just gives them another opportunity to see it, and that with the Suit Up program. And like I said, we have had 40 people so far, and I do know out of those 40, I do know for 100% fact that a couple of them have gotten jobs after that. They went on job interviews. But that process for the job application, to get that for our application, we have to see if they're applying for a construction job, the suit's not going to be it's not going to be for them.
Right.
So that's that on-need basis that we're talking about. So they have to justify to us that, hey, we got these interviews, or we're going to be a computer program, or whatever they're trying to do. That's where, because we want to be able that we're maximizing our money. We don't have a lot of money. I mean, we're still we're still in our infancy, so we don't have a big pool of money just to give and give and give. So we try to give it the most direct way to help and maximize the most people.
Sure.
That's a really key point. Actually, all of our service is on a demonstrated need basis. So that is part of the evaluation of the applications that come in, is what their need is. And if they have resources on their own, or if they can get their resources through the VA, if that's an option for them, then that is where we want them to go. Because we've been growing. We've doubled our number of projects fulfilled year over year since 2013. We're on track to do it again for this year. And so we're getting more and more applications in our door. So we do have to make sure that we're taking a look at who really needs the limited resources that we have.
So who does financially help you out?
So we have fundraisers we have fundraisers that involve the general public. We had a great one last week. We can tell you about that in a minute. We ask for business partnerships. So we have a nice business partnership program that corporations and local businesses can engage with us and partner at various levels. And we're always seeking those opportunities. So if any of your viewers are out there listening and are interested, please give us a call. We also write grants, and so some of these programs, the Readiness Series was funded by a grant. The child care relief that we do is funded by a grant. We do get some state funding, which helps with our overhead costs. And so it's a conglomeration of funding sources, but it is an ongoing, that is another aspect of what I do at the organization, is the grant writing and the fundraising, and it's an ongoing need. So again, if anybody out there is listening and watching, if you'd like to get involved, there are ways in which we would love to receive your support. You
mentioned food bank. Do you have a need for food banks?
No, so there are some great food banks right here in the Plymouth area. So that's where we try not to duplicate efforts.
Right.
We're trying to fill the needs that are not met right now.
Very good.
Yeah, so there are some wonderful food bank opportunities
and to go
right
on
here.
that, like I think we said, we try to collaborate with all the other veterans organizations. So we see what they're doing, and as Amy stated earlier, If we can't do it, we just direct those veterans to an organization we have partnership, not necessarily a partnership, but we
Terrific.
have a relationship with,
Excellent.
and it just works out better. Because the end game is to help the veteran.
Right.
It's not to say
Right.
we help them, it's to say that the veteran was helped.
Yeah.
So even though maybe
Right.
we did not help them, it doesn't matter, because in the end, they were helped. And that's all that really matters. So when we say we do a wide array of services, and vice versa, they
People
direct
are-
them to us also
Sure.
when they have a need that they know that we do.
It's all about collaboration.
It
It
is.
really is.
It really
right?
is. And,
Yeah.
It really is.
Like I
And
said-
communication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
As Amy was saying though too, you talk about the fundraising and all that. So we did have a fundraiser last Saturday,
2 Saturdays.
two Saturdays
Yeah.
ago, and it was a skydive challenge.
Oh,
So
It was a fun one.
It was a very
wow,
fun
that's
one.
different.
It was different, and we raised over $20,000 on that
Very
event,
nice.
which was awesome. We
Yeah.
had 10 jumpers
Yeah.
Really?
at that, so it was an all-day event. We had a nice barbecue out there. I would say about 50, 60 people were out there supporting
Yeah.
their jumpers,
Family
How
members. and
family
nice.
members, friends.
Was
and
that
all
at the Plymouth Airport?
It was actually at the Hanson
Oh, handsome.
Yeah,
Cranlin
Cranlin.
Air Force Base,
Good.
Cranlin
Airport.
Airport.
Cranlin
I keep saying the Air Force Base. I don't know. Maybe the veteran stuff's in my head right now.
But they were all in a friendly competition to outrace each other before they leaped out of the plane.
Wow.
And so it's a fun event. That was our second year. We're looking forward to next year. We're
How
already
nice.
taking names because it's grown and people are really interested because it's a unique, fun one, and we're already planning
Very
for next year.
different.
Yeah.
And like if you go
Yeah.
on the Facebook, you can see the pictures.
Yeah.
And the videos get uploaded yet? With the videos?
There's a couple videos, not every video, but
Not
there are a
every-
couple
there's
videos
of
up
them
there.
jumping
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
plane. So
Wow.
Yeah.
it's definitely unique, and like you said, it's a different type of fundraiser.
Sure.
So I think
Certainly not same old, same old.
No.
no, and that's
no.
what we
It's a good
we
one,
try
though.
to do it and like, as next year. Like Amy said, we try to double it again
Yeah.
next year, and it's something that's working. So we try to scale that one to make it a more popular
Terrific.
fundraiser
Yeah.
for us.
But we'll have other events too. So again, people who are, if they want to join our email list, we communicate that way. We will occasionally have maybe a reception in the evening. We're coming up on our 5th anniversary in 2018, so we'll be having a nice anniversary event later on in
Very good.
2018. And
Uh-huh.
so those are there are other ways for the public to get involved and support our work, and of course, just in an ongoing basis as well.
Do you
So-
have anything planned in the near future that we could mention?
So in terms of a public event, we know that anniversary event isn't until next November. So we're looking
Okay.
a year ahead because that is our 5th
Takes
year.
a lot of planning.
Yeah, it takes a lot of planning. So at the middle of the month, we're working on the date right now and the venue location. So we'll definitely
Good.
be sharing that information on the website. And then later on around the winter time, we'll be participating in the Spectacle of Trees event that's down here at the Cape Cod Mall. So that's a fundraising opportunity for multiple nonprofits, and so we're joining that as an opportunity to fundraise and see how it goes for us. But that's at the beginning of December.
Very
That's a
good.
volunteer opportunity too, actually. We'll be-
Coming up fast.
It is coming up fast.
Mm.
It sounds very intriguing. We've never been involved before, but it's been a success for many other Cape
Nice.
Cod-based nonprofits. And since we serve the Cape, and we've served many veterans on the Cape, we thought it would be a good opportunity for us.
Isn't that
So
nice?
yeah, so that's and then that book reading opportunity that's the
That
nearest
sounds
one.
really interesting.
It's
the
great.
book
Jesse's been a
reading.
reader, and
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
others.
I mean,
yeah.
how that all originated from was we were talking to the Secretary of Veterans Services up in Boston, Secretary Urena, and that was one of his initiatives to kind of put that out there of getting the children to know what veterans and what they do
Really?
and who they are and the wide range of veterans. And there was a book out there, some lady, I think she's from Pennsylvania.
She's from New York. Her
New
name is
York.
Valerie Funstein,
Yeah.
and she wrote a great book
She
called
wrote a great book on it, a children's book we read to the
Really?
younger classes, and it just goes through the whole from Afghanistan, Vietnam, World War II. It hits but then it also goes into when they get out of the service.
Yeah.
So it shows that you're mailman or anybody can
Very
be a veteran
nice.
at that.
And the schools are doing a great job of having fathers be shown coming into, to surprise the kids when they come home.
Oh,
And,
yes,
this is, it's
And
opportunity.
absolutely, and so we're on our 3rd year now. The first couple of years we've hit between the 2 years combined, we've been in at least 30 classrooms, if not more. Hundreds of kids have heard from a veteran, and it's been nice because we've had men and women veterans. We've had different ages, so it really kind of goes along with the book because we're able to put a reader, a diverse set of readers in front of these kids to just showcase that these are men and women in your community. They're all around you. And
I think last year we were there at the school, and I was in Sandwich. I was reading one in Sandwich. I forgot the name of the school, but I know I was reading to the classroom. But I don't know if you ever heard of an MRE, which is a meal ready to eat. So it's food in a bag. So I was trying. So it's just a visual thing for the children to see. These are the things that you would eat when you're out in the field. Sure. So I was trying to make the teacher eat it when we were out there. She did take a bite. One of them did take a bite. So.
It's generally dried, powdered, kind of.
Oh, it's excellent. I'll tell you what, when you're hungry, it's the best thing in the world.
But it's very interesting.
Yes.
To see what's going on behind the scenes.
Yes, it's different.
Very good, very good.
Yes.
Well, believe it or not, we have been talking for half an hour.
Thank you so much.
And I hope we've gotten in everything that you wanted to talk about, and have some people out there contact you if they need you.
Please.
Or for any reason, for volunteering or
for assistance. Absolutely.
For assistance.
Yeah.
Very
absolutely. And share the information if you're watching and you know a veteran. That's getting the word to, getting our name out there. People are still starting to learn that who we are and what we do, and so if people can share the information, that would be great.
And also just, like I said, also any businesses, especially because we do a lot of construction, and we always like to build partnerships with local contractors, because obviously to do it in kind or however, if people looking to volunteer their services to us, maybe if there's a roofer that says, hey, maybe we might not have that project for 6 or 8 months, but eventually it will come. But as long as we know we have somebody that's willing to do that, it makes it easier for us, and then it works that much quicker for the veteran though also, so we're not looking for somebody. Excellent. It's kind of when they're in the bank kind of thing. So that's definitely a big thing for us too. Well, Jessie Brown and Amy Belmore,
thank you.
It's been very nice to talk with you, and I hope the show here benefits what it is you're doing.
Well, thank you for everything that you do here with your show for the community. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you out there for watching. I'm your host, Robbie Haig, and this is Downtown, and I hope to see you again real soon. Thank you.